Hi guys, my name is Isa. Welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk to you about affirmations and why repetition is key when you're working on your limiting beliefs and your self-concept. Let's get started. Today we're going to focus on the subconscious mind and the conscious mind. That will allow us to understand how beliefs are formed and how we can change them. Your conscious mind is the mind that you use when you're intentionally thinking. So for example, I am currently using my conscious mind to record this video, think about what I'm gonna say next, think about how I'm gonna move my hands. The subconscious mind, on the other hand, is a little bit more automatic. It is in charge of managing our memories, our emotions, our habits, and our beliefs. The subconscious mind and the conscious mind are in constant communication every single moment of the day, whether we realize it or not. How does this sound like? Because it's not really a dialogue, it's not really a normal conversation you would have with another human being. So, for example, let's say we have the limiting belief of I'm not good enough. So, when something happens that we get triggered, it can be as simple as looking at someone and we just compare ourselves. The subconscious mind would just immediately go, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. So then it's a conversation because the conscious mind is responding to that statement. It is responding to the belief, and it has two different ways to respond. So, number one, it reaffirms that belief. So, when the subconscious mind says, I'm not good enough, the conscious mind would say, yes, I am not good enough. I'm a failure. I am not capable of doing stuff. And that's when you intentionally think of failures or events that you've had in your life that back up the idea that you're not good enough. And that's sometimes when we spiral. When we do that, we are strengthening that belief. The other way that we can respond to that statement is challenging it. So when we hear, I'm not good enough, we can challenge it by saying, I am enough. I am capable. I am worthy. When we do that, we disrupt that belief. And this is why you're going to see a lot of people who have a negative self concept start to say affirmations like, I deserve love, I deserve safety, I am worthy, I am beautiful. They're gonna say affirmations in an attempt to challenge that belief. Now, where do our beliefs come from? That's a great question. Our beliefs come from childhood. They depend a lot on our environment, how we were treated by the people around us, what kind of things that people around us would say to us. So, for example, if your mother would always criticize you and would always, I don't know, talk about your weight, maybe you have the limiting belief that you are not beautiful. Maybe you have the limiting belief that you need to lose weight. If you had a father who was telling you that you're not good enough and that you're not trying hard enough, maybe you have a limiting belief that you're a failure. So even though we're children and we are too young to understand what is happening and why our parents or the people around us are treating us this way, the subconscious mind is able to identify patterns, identify threats, identify danger. So after being exposed to someone calling you not good enough 1,000 times, making you feel like you're not good enough 1,000 times, and treating you like you're not good enough 1,000 times, the subconscious mind starts to believe that's the reality. When you hear something enough times, you're gonna start to believe it, which is insane if you think about it. Just because you've heard something 1,000, 5,000, 10,000 times, you're gonna start to believe it. That's partly true. Why is it true? So I want you to think how it was going through your mind when you were a child. Your subconscious mind gathered enough information to assume I'm not good enough. And maybe it assumed that you're not good enough because your parents told you you're not good enough. So then when the subconscious mind throws a statement, I'm not good enough, the conscious mind as a child would think, yes, I'm not good enough. My parents told me that I'm not good enough. So then it gets reaffirmed. It throws another one, I'm not good enough. And then you would go, yes, I'm not good enough. I feel like a failure right now, or I feel really bad right now. It's getting reaffirmed. So then it throws another one, reaffirm. Another one, reaffirm, right? So it gets reaffirmed so many times. And that's when it solidifies because it already knows what to expect. The subconscious mind knows that every single time it says, I'm not good enough, the conscious mind will confirm it. The conscious mind will not only repeat the statement, but it will also give evidence on why you're not good enough. That's when the belief forms. when it gets constant reaffirmation and evidence over and over and over again, to the point that it knows what to expect. That belief solidifies so much that it becomes automatic. It becomes so automatic that people are unaware of the kind of limiting beliefs that they have. This is why you're gonna see people go through life feeling like a failure, feeling like they're not good enough, thinking that they have to lose weight every single second of every single day. They're gonna go through life thinking they're never going to amount to anything, unaware of that being a limiting belief. They're gonna think that's just my truth, that's just my life, that's just who I am. I'm just someone who's a failure. And they're not going to challenge it. It is so automatic. So automatic. When you're so unaware of your thoughts, your conscious mind is just feeding the subconscious mind, and the subconscious mind is just feeding the conscious one. So it becomes so automatic, you think that's normal. You think that's the truth. You even forget where it came from. Now, let's say you become aware. I'd honestly say watching this video will help you be aware of your thoughts a little bit more. Let's say you become aware and you think, I am going to challenge that belief. I'm going to start saying affirmations. What happens? Think about it. Think, I'm the subconscious mind, okay? Every single day is the same as the day before. Every single time I throw a specific belief, I get the same response. Every single time. No matter how many times I do it throughout the day, I always get the same response, right? So when I throw the statement or the belief, I'm not good enough, and the conscious mind, instead of reaffirming that belief, which is what it always does, says, actually, I am good enough. I'm gonna notice that. If the conscious mind has always been in agreement with me, I will notice the moment it's no longer in agreement. So then, as the subconscious mind, I'm gonna think, that's weird. Why is the conscious mind saying that? Why is it saying a statement that's not true? I am not good enough. It has reaffirmed that statement before, so why is it challenging it right now? Weird. So then the subconscious mind doesn't do anything about it. It just keeps it in mind. So then I just throw the statement, because that's my job. That's my job. I just throw statements. So then I throw the statement again, and it gets challenged again and again and again and again. And I start thinking, why am I not getting the same feedback that I've been getting for the past years? Why am I suddenly getting something so different? What is going on? It's gonna get alarmed because there's a change. And the subconscious mind can see that. I'll give you an example. So one time I was at the mall at the food court and I was filling up my fountain soda. I got some 7-Up and there was a lady that came in and she was complaining about her drink tasting funny. The guy who was working gave her a strange look, but didn't really fight her on it. He just gave her another drink. So then, whatever, I go sit down, I'm drinking my 7-Up, and it's tasting flat. It's the most disgusting 7-Up I have ever tried. So then I go up and I tell the guy, hi, my drink is tasting weird. Can I get another one? The guy looks at me and he's like, why is it tasting weird? What's weird about it? And I'm like, I don't know. It just tastes weird. Can I just take another one? He looks at his coworker and he's like, I think there's something wrong with the machine. Can you check it? So before I got my drink, both of them started checking the machine, making sure that there wasn't something wrong with it. If the guy who was working received no complaints about the machine, he wouldn't think there's something wrong with it. But because he got more than one complaint, he started questioning, is there something wrong with the machine? He didn't strictly believe there was something wrong with the machine. He just started questioning if there was something wrong with the machine. And that's exactly what happens with your subconscious mind. The subconscious mind, if it's constantly getting reaffirmed, it has no reason to think the belief is wrong. But when it's starting to get challenged over and over and over again, what was once clear is now blurry. Now the subconscious mind doesn't know if that's the truth, because if it's the truth, why is it getting challenged so much? And there are so many complaints that the subconscious mind has enough reason to question that belief and start considering that that is not the truth. And that's what we want to get with affirmations. You want to say as many affirmations as you can. You want to question that limiting belief as much as you can so that your subconscious mind gets to the point where it's like, wait a second, I think there is something wrong with this. That's what we want. Where do we go from there? Because a lot of people will tell you that affirmations don't work. They're gonna tell you that they tried affirmations and it did nothing for them, that it's just a waste of time. So why didn't it work for them? Because they need corrective data. In other words, you need evidence for the new belief. You need evidence for the affirmation. So why was the old belief or the limiting belief so strong to the point where it was automatic? Because not only did your parents repeat that over and over and over again. They also give you evidence. If someone is calling you not good enough, most of the time they're gonna point out something you did that reflects that you're not good enough. Or at least that's what most parents do. So not only is the subconscious mind receiving, I'm not good enough, it is also receiving evidence on why you're not good enough. And that's why that belief is so strong. That's why when you start questioning if you're actually not good enough, it feels fake. When you start saying affirmations, it feels fake. If you've spent your whole life hating yourself and out of nowhere you're looking at yourself in the mirror calling yourself beautiful, you're going to feel like a liar. Why? Because you have evidence to believe otherwise. I will give you my example. I basically grew up with the belief of I won't be loved unless I'm actively losing weight. Why? Because my dad wouldn't talk to me if I didn't follow a diet. My dad would withdraw himself if I didn't exercise. My dad would become very proud of me and like supportive if I was losing weight. So not only was my dad constantly repeating, you have to lose weight, you have to lose weight, you have to lose weight, but he was also giving me evidence on why I had to lose weight, on why it was necessary for me to lose weight. If I don't lose weight, I'm not loved. I literally grew up thinking if I don't go to the gym, if I don't follow a diet, if I don't lose weight, I'm not going to be loved. I'm not going to be accepted. And I can give you evidence. I have evidence for that. That's why I spent so many years thinking and hyperfixating on weight loss, because I have strong evidence that can back up the idea that I will only be loved if I lose weight. So when I start telling myself I am lovable at any weight, I am loved at my current weight, am I? Because I have so much that tells me otherwise. So what do? When you get to a point and you've said enough affirmations, how can you back that up? With evidence. And that's actually an amazing thing, because the main difference between your limiting belief and the new belief that you want to form is how it started. Your limiting belief started not by your choice. You were a child. It was given to you. Whether your parents intentionally wanted you to think that about yourself or not, they gave you that belief and they gave you evidence to back it up. So it wasn't your choice. You just received it and assumed it was true because as a child, you're not gonna challenge it, right? So that just became your default. But now with your new belief, you were old enough, you were aware enough, you were responsible enough to be intentional about it. You can choose your new belief. And not only can you choose your new belief, but you can create the evidence that you need for that new belief. You can deliberately surround yourself with people who make you feel good about yourself. You can deliberately remove yourself from an environment that is toxic for you and makes you feel bad about yourself. You can do that. So, for example, how did I create evidence so that I could start believing that I am lovable at any weight? I sat down and I thought of my friends, my family, who's not my dad, the guys that I've talked with, my ex-boyfriends, my pets, people who have complimented me, and I realized none of them have focused on my weight. None of them have loved me any less when I've gained weight. They have been there for me always. They have been supportive. If a relationship or a friendship ended, it had nothing to do with my weight. And not only that, I would also put on a shirt that I didn't feel comfortable with because I would always think I can only wear that if I'm skinny. And I would go out and I would get so many compliments. So that is me creating evidence. Just the fact that you're able to wear something that you have been delaying for when you lose weight, that's a victory on its own. Or at least that's how I feel. Repetition and evidence makes the new belief solid and realistic. That's why a lot of people think affirmations don't work, because they don't back it up with evidence. So it basically looks like this. You're a kid. I'm not good enough. 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 This is a limiting belief. Now you're a little bit older. You are aware and you are in your healing journey and you decide that you're going to change your limiting belief. So it goes like, I'm not good enough. I am good enough. I am good enough. I'm not good enough. I am good enough. Notice how the conscious mind, the new belief, is intentionally thinking, I am good enough, even when it's not prompted. So you have to say something positive when the subconscious mind throws you something, and even if the subconscious mind doesn't throw you anything, okay? So, as I was saying, I am good enough. I'm good enough. I'm good enough. I'm good enough. So it gets to a point where they're both equal. So the subconscious mind is like, which one is the truth? And that's the moment when you keep affirming and you keep giving yourself evidence, affirming, evidence, affirming, evidence, to the point where the new belief is more solid and more realistic than the limiting belief. Another way that you can add up in your new belief is literally breaking that limiting belief down. Literally writing why that belief is wrong. You can literally say, I only believe that because my parents said that, but they were lying. That's enough. That's literally enough for you to start breaking down that limiting belief. I started thinking that as a child, but I didn't even understand the concept, so I wasn't right about it. The belief says I'm not good enough, but I have been good enough for the following. Boom, 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 right? So that's what we want to do. That's how we change a limiting belief. That's why repetition is key. When you build that new belief and when this belief becomes the default, your subconscious mind is not going to throw, I am good enough. I am good enough. I am good enough. And then the conscious mind can affirm it. Yes, I am good enough. Yes, I am not a failure. I am beautiful. I am loved. That's what we want. I understand that it is hard to take that step. It is hard because to a certain extent, the limiting belief feels like the truth. I spent my whole life thinking I need to lose weight. Every single second of every single day, I would think I need to lose weight. And when I first considered, not even affirmed, just considered the idea that I don't need to lose weight, I felt scared because that goes against everything I've believed in my whole life. That goes against how I've been raised. That goes against what I've been doing since I left my home. It just goes against everything familiar for me. And one of the reasons why it is so hard to take that step as well is because you feel like that limiting belief is protecting you. I literally felt like me hyperfixating on my weight and on food was protecting me from gaining weight. So I thought that if I became one of the people that said, I don't need to lose weight and didn't focus on their weight, I thought I would gain weight uncontrollably to the point where I would be in danger because I genuinely thought gaining weight was dangerous. So I didn't want to take that step because I didn't want to put myself in danger. But you have to realize a toxic mindset is not actually protecting you. Anxiety doesn't actually protect you from stuff. It just anticipates. It doesn't prepare. It doesn't plan. It doesn't protect. It just anticipates. So your limiting belief, which feels familiar, which feels like it's protecting you, is harming you. But it feels so familiar, it is hard to let go. But I am here to tell you, you just need to affirm. You just need to say it enough times. And that is so easy. You just have to say it over and over and over again. You just have to write it over and over and over again. You just have to give yourself a little bit of evidence every single time you say it. And it can be the smallest kind of evidence. You know what kind of evidence I would give myself? I would literally say, my dog loves me and she doesn't care if I followed the diet or if I ordered fast food. That was my evidence. My dog loving me. An animal loving me. So you can give yourself the smallest piece of evidence and you just have to keep repeating. Just keep repeating. I promise you it is going to work. Repetition is key. You have to repeat it even when you don't believe it's gonna work. You have to repeat it even when you think you're lying. You have to repeat it even when you don't feel strongly about it, because you're gonna feel neutral about it to a certain point. But it's once you get past that point that you start strongly believing you are at liberty to choose your thoughts. You are at liberty to choose what meaning you give to life. Based on the meaning you give to life is how you will experience life. That is why people who have a negative self-concept don't enjoy life as much as people who have a positive self-concept. You don't owe lifelong obedience to a limiting belief that is harming you. I don't care if your parents gave you that belief. I don't care if it came from school. I don't care if it came from your friends. I don't care. If it is harming you, you don't owe obedience. You don't owe to spend the rest of your life believing something just because your dad told you, just because your mom told you. They make mistakes. Obviously I don't want to just blame your parents, but it is a reality that our beliefs come from childhood and most people don't even know how to talk to children. I think that's where most of the problems come from. Most parents don't actually know how to talk with children, so they talk to children as if they're adults and they project their insecurities, they project their anger, they project their failures. their fears. And that's why you're a child and you're carrying so much that's not yours. Most of your limiting beliefs aren't even yours. Most of your thoughts aren't even your thoughts. You're just repeating. Just because that happened doesn't mean that you need to live your whole life like that. I spent my whole life thinking that I was ugly. What? I spent my whole life thinking that I was ugly. And it was until recently that I started feeling good about myself. And it's like, I don't want to spend another day thinking I'm ugly. I want to spend the rest of my life thinking I am beautiful. Even if I'm only beautiful to me, I want to spend the rest of my life thinking positively of myself, because that's what feels good for me. You have to be intentional with your thoughts, with your affirmations, with how you talk to yourself, how you talk about yourself to yourself. Be intentional, be caring, be loving. I just want you to realize it's not gonna be that hard. If you're trying to make yourself believe that you're lovable, that's not gonna be that hard. You are lovable. If you're trying to make yourself feel beautiful, that's not gonna be that hard. You are beautiful. The only reason you think negative of yourself is because someone guided you to think that way of yourself, not because it's actually true. So it's not really that you have to go out of your way to prove that you're beautiful. You just have to stop trying to convince yourself that you're not. I think most people don't understand how loving they are, how special they are, how unique they are, how capable they are, how much potential they have. You have so many good things about you that forming a new belief about those things won't be hard, because it's going to be so easy to find evidence within yourself and within the right people. You're so lovable, you're going to like, I promise you. I just feel like showering you with love. After spending years and years and years just carrying something that's not ours, we deserve to let that go, and we deserve to just be positive and feel positive about ourselves. I'm sending you so much love, so much positive energy, and I know that there's going to be so much healing in your life. I can see it, I can sense it, okay? Anyway, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and check out my channel so that you can watch all of my other episodes. But wait, before we leave, check out my nails.